forgotten to introduce anyone or mention folks, but we're going to go ahead and get going. Today this is a unique road to Richmond in that not only do we have a short session, but we have a general election year, or election year in Fairfax County, locally. And it's really a unique opportunity to draw a connection between our federal, our state, and our local offices, and just how intertwined our economies are. You know, when the sequester happened, and was it 2012 and 2013, the effects on the county budget were such that it created massive holes that left our local elected scrambling because the only source of revenue that we have here for our primary sources are real estate tax. You could also draw a connection between the growth of Fairfax County, the economy of the county, and the growth of the state's general fund. So if the federal government sneezes in some respects, Fairfax County catches a cold, and by that extension, so does the state of Virginia. And we really are a company town in that respect. And so what we have today is fortunate to have Congressman Gerry, Connolly, former chairman of the Board of Supervisors and member of Providence District Supervisor, with Senator Saslaw, Honorable Eileen and Sharon, Bulova, to draw that connection and to speak about the importance of the relationships between the offices. Lastly, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, our keynote speaker, will finish us off. So anyway, without further ado, it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you our Congressman, Gerry Connolly.
Well, good morning, fellow Democrats. Would any Democrat in the room who doesn't hold elective office please stand? Be recognized. We've come a long way. I first joined the Democratic Committee in 1836. Things were different. In 1983. I've been here 36 years, and the transformation in Fairfax County is astounding. And it's thanks to all of your efforts and those who went before us. It made a huge difference, and now we can safely say Fairfax is blue. You know, we're fighting about something we shouldn't be fighting about. We have a president who campaigned 2 years ago, and you will remember his rally after rally, where he would whip up the crowd with, "What are we going to do?" And they would scream, "Build a wall." And then he would say, "Part 2, and who's going to pay for it? Mexico." Not the federal employee, and not the taxpayer. He's launched an anti-immigrant campaign that's worthy of the Know-Nothing Party of the 19th century. It's hurtful, it's un-American, and it does not represent our values. And we need to fight it. Immigrants are the promise of America. I've been to 26 naturalization ceremonies. And I look at those faces and I hear those stories. And I tell them a story of my own. In 1920, an 18-year-old girl from Northern Ireland, a Catholic, who left Northern Ireland because of rampant discrimination against Catholics at that time. She went with a cousin on a boat. She got seasick, she had no skills other than she could sew. She was robbed on the boat and came here literally penniless. She stayed with some other cousins and took in the laundry of rich people, and she sewed clothes. She saved up what money she made and brought her invalid mother over from Ireland and her 2 brothers. And today her grandson stands before you as a United States Congressman. That's the promise of America. And we must fight for that promise. Immigration is what has created the success of our own community. When I moved here over 40 years ago, in 1836, 3% of our population was foreign-born. Today it's 30%. And if I told my neighbors back then that this transformation was going to happen, they might have made some assumptions about what Fairfax would look like, all of which would have been wrong. Well, the schools will go to hell in a handbasket. Our test scores are up, not down. We have the lowest high school dropout rate in America and one of the highest on to higher education rates in America. Thank you, school board. Well, Fairfax will become a very poor place. We are number 3 in counties in the United States in median household income and rising. Number 3 in the country. 106,000 median household income. Well, jobs would be hurt. Well, when I first moved here, most of us who worked outside the home went to Washington for jobs, came home at night. Today, we have 650,000 jobs in Fairfax County. Crime rate, all right, but crime rate will go up. We have the lowest crime rate of the top 100 jurisdictions in America. A few years ago, our homicide rate, which would like to be 0, was 14 in a county of 1.1 million. That was the same rate as in the 1940s, when we probably had less than 100,000. We have the lowest crime rate of any of the top 100 jurisdictions in America. So if you're going to make a calculation about immigration, you have to conclude it's been really good for our community. We are a success story for the rest of the country. Now, you may have watched television this last week, and you noticed a big change in the House of Representatives. The first 2 Native American women ever elected to Congress are my colleagues now. The first 2 Muslim American women ever elected to the Congress are my colleagues now. And they joined 102 women in the United States Congress. And they also joined the first woman ever to be Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. It's an exciting time to be up there. By the way, I'm going to get a gavel. Not an award, I'm going to use it. And I hope that the cabinet, sub-cabinet members, and White House staff all buy a pair of rollerblades, because they're going to need it going back and forth to the U.S. Capitol. We are going to provide oversight and accountability to the Trump administration. The beauty of Virginia, we have elections every year. Who said that? She's on the electoral board, you know. But we have an opportunity to replicate what we've been doing the last several years. What we just did in the House of Representatives, we need to do here in Virginia, in the House of Delegates and the State Senate. We need to make Eileen Philipporn Speaker of the House. And we need to make Dick Saslaw the Majority Leader of the State Senate. You saw the power of an election when the Republicans decided, well, maybe Medicaid coverage for 400,000 Virginians actually does make sense after all. Well, that's the kind of clarification that starts to sink in when you lose 15 seats and almost your majority in the House of Delegates. And that's the power of this electoral tide, which is not abated. Our enthusiasm is as strong as ever. We have powerful leaders ready to take Virginia well into the 21st century, working with a great team, Ralph Northam, Justin Fairfax, and Mark Sharon. And our next speaker is one of those leaders. He's been in the majority, he's been in the minority, but his voice has never been stilled on behalf of working men and women in Virginia, the downtrodden, and his constituency. He's a great leader now and for our future. Give it up for Dick Saslaw.
Gerry's doing a one hell of a job as a congressman. I think he is just in a suit. Really. Before I start into talking about business, the thing that we've done or deal with in the General Assembly, I want to tell you the most important business for us right now today is to get Jennifer Fusco, elected on Tuesday, to the state senate. There is nothing more important than that. Every single constituency that normally endorses our candidates is supporting her, and what a big surprise was when the Northern Virginia Chamber endorsed Jennifer over Joe. Oh, and my legislative aide, Janet Muldoon, told me if I didn't say this. We need somebody to call the Post and tell them to stop the presses. We need to tell them to alert 60 Minutes. I'm going to run for re-election. Anyway, you know, we do have the wind at our backs, and Medicaid expansion, as Congressman Connolly pointed out, occurred directly as a result of that election last November. They got, or November of 17. Let me tell you, they got the message. One other thing, this constant, never-ending chatter from that crowd in D.C. about immigrants. There has never been an immigrant group that's come to this country that hasn't made us better for their being here. Not a one. They fight our wars, and then they come back and help build this country. And, you know, this demagoguery that you see is nothing short of disgraceful. And they're going to pay a price for that at the polls. Don't you kid yourself. And they should. They know better, and if they want to appeal to that base, let them go ahead and do it, but they're going to pay a price for that. And like I said, they should, and I'm going to make sure that they do. In the 21 districts we have that the Republicans hold in the Senate, we've got 15 candidates already running. And they're going to be well-financed. Governor Northam, Lieutenant Governor Fairfax, doing a tremendous job helping to assemble this whole operation, and it's going to pay off. We're going to take over, and Eileen's going to be, Eileen is going to be the first speaker, female, in the history of this state. And let me tell you something. About 72 hours from now, she's going to start that history when she gets sworn in. And I'll get to that in a minute or two. Let me tell you about what's coming up in Richmond, what we're going to be dealing with. The governor has submitted a series of budget amendments, and these are really critical. I and others, where's Senator Howe? Over there. We helped get the 3% raise for the teachers in the current budget. Governor Bulova wants to add 2% more to that to make it 5%. And I'll tell you something. Let me tell you this. We rank 30th in America for average teacher pay. 30th. Yet we're about 11th or 12th wealthiest state. If you pull the Northern Virginia region out of that equation, we drop from 30th to 49th. We're tied with Oklahoma and West Virginia. Okay? If you pull Northern Virginia out of the equation, it drops to 45,000 from 50. California and New York are in the high 70s for average. And we need to do something about this. And you can say what you want, but let me tell you, paying these teachers will go a long way to solving a whole lot of problems in the education system. The government has $36 million in additional money for school councils. We want to get that down to 1 per 250, so they're not overloaded. School construction, we're adding $80 million to that. That's in that money. Another $35 million for the Water Improvement Quality Fund. And on top of that, we're going to add $1 billion to the state reserve that will protect us from any downturn. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. Probably the most controversial issue that we're going to be dealing with from a structure form is going to be tax conformity. And that's probably going to occupy a whole lot. As you know, the government wants a refundable tax credit to people below $50,000. The Republicans naturally want to give it to the people who don't need it. And we're going to have to get that worked out. There's, I think, $11 million in the budget for the, it's called site readiness for both Micron and the Amazon project. And by the way, I don't know what you all been hearing. First of all, Amazon doesn't get penny one until they've been paying taxes for 2.5 years. Okay, until they've been paying taxes for 2.5 years. We've got our metropolitan area has 6.2 million people. It's a largely expanded area to include Jefferson County and West Virginia. The Seattle area is 3.8 million. There's 3.3 million jobs in our area. The Amazon coming here will add less than 1% over the next 10 years. Add less than 1%. So, like I said, until they come through with they don't get penny one. Micron is the largest employer in Prince William County. This state's on the move, and the reason it's on the move is the last 2 governors we've had. That's why the state's on the move. School safety, resource officers, we're adding money, as I said before, for the counselors, the resource officers. All these are just vital if we're going to do anything that is meaningful in dealing with this situation, because we live in a state and in a country, essentially, mostly in the state, where your only qualification to get a gun is that you fog up a mirror, okay? And we need to get away from that. Let me tell you something. I pulled 2 years in the U.S. Army, and I fired every weapon that you can imagine, from 30 and 50 caliber machine guns, Browning automatic rifle, flamethrowers, bazookas. These kinds of weapons do not belong in the hands of the civilian population. Anytime you see a picture of a rifle that's got a pistol grip on it, that pistol grip is on there for one reason, so it makes it easier to kill as many people as possible. And we need to make sure that you can't get a magazine in this state that can hold more than 10 bullets. Let me tell you, you can't bring down a deer with 10 bullets. You shouldn't be hunting, okay? You shouldn't be hunting. So anyway, we got a lot on our plate. This is going to be a big year. We're lining up some really great people, and we're doing